I'm having so many thoughts. The first of which is I just lost an hour and a half of my life in the best way. I watched Adie Bryant's new show, Shrill. Everybody should watch this show in general. Just like everybody should watch this show. But especially fat girls. Like, I'm watching this show and I just immediately feel more validated as both a woman and as a girl with a fat ass and big titties. You know, I just need some representation, and it made me feel great. It made me do one of those like ee, like squealy, like leg kicky, comforter punchy. I was excited, is what I'm trying to say. I was excited at just the truth being told in a really uncomplicated way. It was just broken down and dissected. And yeah, I don't want to give away any of the, you know, plot information, but I think everybody should watch it. And yeah, I love my neighbor. He's a great human, but he's a loud person. He's also a composer. Maybe he'll watch this and be like, Jen, don't talk about me when you're rambling on your iPhone. But until that comment comes, Tim, I'm gonna make notes of all the psychotic, murderous noises that you make in your apartment. So speaking of quitting smoking, going well in that I am reducing my smoking dramatically. It's almost like I saved them to be on video. Also, shout out to Tony. Thanks for sending me the lozenges, the nicotine lozenges. I think that I'm just gonna do a video where I try one for the first time and see if it's as disgusting, revolting, and painful as you say it is, because yeah, I can't tell you based on that review how much I'm looking forward to it. And I hope to God that you can hear on the audio pickup of this brand new iPhone, I hope you can hear the strange ass noises that Tim is making in his apartment right now, so that when I bitch about it in the future, I'll be justified in saying, did I just hear a yelping dog followed by a 1950s cartoon running away? Because that's immediately what I thought about. I was thinking today about my love of true crime, and I have been obsessed with true crime for a very long time. And podcasts like My Favorite Murder really make me feel understood. It's like when I'm listening to Karen and Georgia talk, it's like, holy shit, thank God someone understands me. I am obsessed with murder, and not murdering, but how to not get murdered, and also being vigilant for not getting murdered. And the more information I take in about murder, the less likely it seems I'm gonna get murdered. So I was thinking about if I have ever known or come across a serial killer and didn't know it. And, you know, because everybody's like, man, I can't believe it was my neighbor, Dave, you know, how did that happen? He was so quiet, nice, and normal. And I came up with a list of things that I think truly will, they're the truest signs of a serial killer. So I want to share those with you guys. The first sign that somebody's a serial killer is that they drive a beige Lincoln town car. That's what I'm talking about. They look like cop cars, but they're in that really awful shade of beige that should never be utilized in the world at all, unless it's in like a impressionist landscape palette to illustrate some sort of cattail. I don't know, But if you drive a beige Lincoln town car, you're probably a serial killer. Hippies drinking tea from those like teapot shaped glass transparent see-through French presses that are just made for tea, and when they ask you for a refill, they maintain eye contact throughout the entire transaction. Can I get a refill of this hibiscus tea, please? Yeah, thank you. Serial killer. This is another one. People who drive exactly parallel to you on the highway or any 2-lane, same direction road. When this is you, boop, 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 going along, doing your thing, and somebody just comes up right here and they just linger in that spot, and you look over and you're like, are they creeping on me? They're not. They're just dead-eyed, soul empty, staring straight forward, as if this exchange isn't weird at all. Person is definitely a serial killer. Men. And people who let children put stickers all over the back window of any car. You know, have you ever pulled up to somebody who, you look over your driver's seat, at their back passenger seat, the window is up, and it's just the white, like, squares of stickers adhered all over. First of all, how long was your child so ignored and unattended that they had time to do that? I know it only takes seconds. My niece's Houdinis of disappearing. If I turn around, I'm a helicopter aunt, and I still have managed to lose track of them at times. But what child is that stealthy, like sticker book age, that they could adhere a shit ton of stickers to the window and you would never notice? The people who let that happen are serial killers. Because you got to be in like a different world to not notice that someone's fucking up your back seat. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so watch out, be vigilant, you know, stay sexy, don't get murdered. Thank you, my favorite murder. I love you so much. The other topic I wanted to broach today, I had this interesting conversation with a straight person in the community, and she has this poem, which is a really powerful poem about not assuming other people's sexuality. And since I haven't texted her to ask her permission to talk about it, I'm just going to talk about it vaguely. But here's the thing. She made this super valid point in the poem that was directed at women, and it was like lesbians, vicarious, pansexual. However you define your sexuality, if you are a woman attracted to women, it is not okay. Let me just say this to you as a bona fide 2-decade-long lesbian. It's not okay to continuously make a joke of or question your straight friend's sexuality and kind of like, you'll come over to our side one day. It's not okay. And we need to stop it. That is definitely a version of toxic masculinity. And some deeply ingrained misogyny, right? Because I don't think it's funny when men come up to me and just remind me that they think one day the right dick will just do me a solid and I'll finally come on over to the straight side. That's never going to happen. Anyway, I say all of that knowing that I'm entirely guilty. I give my straight female friends shit about coming on over to the lesbian side all the time. I also actively hit on female friends of mine that I know are straight, and I'm gonna check my own behavior, because while I think that some of my relationships have permitted it and find it amusing, flattering, goofy, whatever, and don't take it seriously because they don't see me as a misogynistic threat, I did learn the lesson that you know, it can make people feel uncomfortable, and I just want to respect the progress of our movement, you know? The other thing that the poem addressed was that lesbians will often give straight women shit about wearing flannel and jeans, or maybe men give women shit about wearing flannel and jeans, presuming that it's a gay look. Here's the thing, it is a gay look. Literally my favorite shirt, also my mom's shirt, but my favorite shirt. Here's the deal on that aspect. Dear straight women, you're gonna have to do the work to dismantle gender roles because lesbians already have. So I'll totally give it to you that lesbians should not be minimizing the heterosexual experience, or any other experience for that matter, but lesbians should not be making a joke of anybody else's sexuality, even if it's a joke, or intent versus impact, that's what I meant. But flannel and jeans, those are ours. Those are ours. The reality is, straight women, that you have to dismantle gender roles and you have to make it acceptable across the board, no matter what your sexuality, that short hair is an all-female look. Men's wear, more masculine presenting wear, I'm thinking less floral, less pleats, that's an all-gender look. So short hair, all gender, flannel, all gender, clothing, all gender. That means you also got to be comfortable letting your man wear a dress or a jumpsuit and not diminishing him as a human being because he feels more comfortable in this style or type of clothing as opposed to the traditional style. We're gonna keep flannel and jeans. We're gonna keep short hair. If you're driving a Jeep in conjunction with all of those other things, you are representing lesbian. And the reason that you have to check your straight privilege in this regard is we had to set ourselves apart in order to identify other women that we were able to connect with in a romantic way, in a social way, in a cultural way. So if you don't want to be thought of as a lesbian because you have short hair, you're a rough and tumble gal, you don't like makeup, you drive a Jeep, you wear flannel, then you're going to have to do the work for the gender role situation. Just want to make sure we're clear on that. We get to keep this look, very necessary for our survival, even today, because not only do we not want to be, I'm speaking solely from a butch perspective, not only do we not want to be straight passing, but we don't want to fall into the heteronormative patriarchal role. And if you're asking why I as a woman am wearing male clothing as it's currently identified, it's because when you take two extremes like that, the demands of being a woman with these clothes are only for men, and you come to a center point, that is a neutral zone where you can exist without the polarity extremes of either two things. You're combining them so that you can create a differentiation in these expectations. You create yourself, your own space, right? And in that area are women just like you who are doing the exact same thing. I wanted to make sure I cleared up the fact that lesbians need to stop being misogynistic, but also straight women have to dismantle the gender roles. We're not going to do that for you because we've already done it and we're tired, and much like most of the modern struggles, it's not our job to make everybody comfortable with change as much as it is everybody who's aware that change is occurring. Go ahead and change and help the people around you who are like you but haven't changed.